there, I'm Claire Seaman. I'm from Harcourt Snandra and I'm the Ambassador for Inspirational Women. So excited to be here. We can't wait for this event to start. We've got a wonderful speaker from our office, Nicole Hindmarsh. We're all really pumped to hear a story.
She's bubbly, she's friendly, she's warm, witty, and her smile lights up a room. So welcome, Nicole. She's bubbly, she's friendly, she's warm, witty, and her smile lights up a room. So welcome, Nicole.
Growing up, I really didn't like high school, and my parents said to me, "Look, if you get into TAFE, then you're welcome to go to TAFE and not do year 12." So I decided that was my path. I went to TAFE and then I went on to uni from there. When I was at uni, I lived on campus during the week, and I absolutely loved it because with the microbilly course, I got to be a lot more involved with the brew side of things. So what that meant is my lecturer would say to me, "Nicole, come in and check on the brew during the week." I'd go in a lot more than the other guys in the class, and I think they weren't very happy about that. So once we finished a brew, we'd have thousands of letters to get rid of. And the lecturer used to say, "Nicole, just come and help yourself. We need to get rid of it." So there I was finding any container that I could fill up. And back then, it was over 20 years ago, we had those plastic bags that, yeah, no worries. Okay, thank you. So over 20 years ago, when you had the plastic bags that didn't break, I would actually fill them up with all the brew from the brewery, and I would walk back up the hill towards student housing. And I used to laugh and laugh because on the left-hand side, there was actually the police academy. And I used to think, is this actually legal? I don't really know, but my lecturer, he wanted me to get rid of it. So I had a lot of friends at student housing. So I met my husband at uni. I was 19 and he was 33. I thought it was great dating an older guy because I just thought this is so easy. There's no drama. We were extremely happy. We ended up moving in together. We bought a house and we were married after about 6 years of being together. So after years of working in hospitality, I wanted to get an office job. So I applied for absolutely everything I could find. And I ended up getting a job which was for a company called PBS Work Fund. And that was to help unemployed people get into work. I absolutely loved the job. I had to market unemployed people to employers. So I was cold calling employers, trying to sell them my client and jobs that my client could do. So not long after that, I became pregnant and I was extremely excited. And not long after that, I had a miscarriage. I reassessed my life. I realised, hey, I love my job, but it's really high pressure and quite stressful. So I decided to quit my job and I decided to buy a deli. So my husband and I, we bought Victoria Street Deli. So at the time when I was about 6 months pregnant, so a few months before this time, I actually went home this day and I went home not expecting to be home. And I walked into my bedroom and there was my husband and his son sitting on the end of the bed, both smoking something out of a glass light bulb. So I had no idea what it was. Drugs have never really been anything that I've been involved in. I had no idea. So, but I knew it wasn't good. And I knew I didn't want it in my life and definitely not in my baby's life. When the baby was about 5 months old, I was driving on the highway and my husband was sitting in the back seat and next to the baby in the back. And he had an anger outburst and for whatever reason, he just reached across the baby and punched me as hard as he could in my arm while I was driving. So that was the best thing he could have actually ever done. Because at that moment, I realised this is it. Like, I am not doing this anymore. So I didn't know how because I had no idea, like, how on earth do I get myself out of this? I couldn't see any way out. I didn't even know where to start. And I called mum and dad, and I just sat there and I just told them absolutely everything. They were in absolute shock, had no idea what was going on. And they just said to me, look, just come home. But there I was, in a couple of days' time. The deli on a Friday was really busy, so we had a lot of school lunches on a Friday. And I thought, I can't leave now. I can't let my customers down. I have to stay. I have to stay for Friday. So I went and I worked and I made sure everyone was okay. But I had a plan, and I didn't tell anyone about the plan. My husband had no idea about my plan, and that empowered me. I felt quite excited for once. There's something I'm keeping from you and not the other way around. So that was it. I packed the car and I left, and I did not look back. And for quite some time, he was trying to get me back. He was trying everything to get me back. But once he knew that, that was it, I was not going back. Things escalated and he became even more violent, and we had to contact the police on numerous occasions. So we went to court. Outside the courtroom, he said to me, my husband said to me, Nicole, I can't believe you've got a VRO out against me. I do not want this on my record. But there I was thinking, hey, what else am I meant to do? So we went in, I pleaded my case to the magistrate, and the VRO was granted. So then we were going through family court. We were going through family court for custody of the baby. So he was trying for full custody. He was then trying for 50-50 custody. He was just trying for anything he could. So I had a lawyer at the time, and she said to me, Nicole, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the absolute worst that the family court has ever seen, your case is sitting at a 2. So I thought, hey, what do you know? Because you really haven't been there dealing with what I've been dealing with. So I got rid of my lawyer and I represented myself at family court. I was also finding it really hard to get a rental. So it's a bit like today's market, where there's just no rentals available. And also being a single parent, I was on the parenting payment, one income at the time, and I was competing with couples. So that was really tricky. I had to go a little bit inland of Mandurah to find a rental, and I found a cute little place in North Yamarut which had white carpet with a toddler. I told my parents, look, I'm always going to provide for my son. I'm going to provide everything and more than what he ever needs. And so I started working in real estate, selling over 55s villages when my son was around 18 months old. And I did that for a couple of days a week. I absolutely loved it. So then when my son was 4 years old, I started working as a personal assistant for Harcourts Mandurah. And that was the best thing because it taught me all the processes and procedures. I got to learn all the systems, and I was getting paid a wage to do that. So again, I'm extremely grateful for that opportunity. And then I decided to take that massive step and be a sales rep and go out on commission only. So that was back in 2014. In my first week, I placed 5 properties under contract. And I thought, woohoo, in a year's time, I am going to be retired. But I won't forget this. It was just after Easter and somebody flipped a switch and all the buyers left the market, completely left the market. I had sellers hating buyers and buyers hating sellers. I was constantly putting out fires. I was dealing with so many dramas and I was absolutely exhausted. I thought that's what it was to sell property. So I remember speaking to Lee Perry, and he said to me, Nick, I can't believe all this stuff that you're dealing with. I've not had to deal with this so much stuff in the last 15 years of real estate. So that was a bit of a moment for me because I thought, okay, I need to stop and assess what's happening in my business. I was just surviving. I really was just surviving. So what I was putting out there through my mind, I was getting it back tenfold. I was attracting all those clients who didn't give a crap. So what did I do? I decided to leave that person for a start, that relationship, and I decided to heal the pain that was within me. So my dreams had been shattered originally, and I just had to get on with it and deal with it. So instead of jumping from one relationship to another bad relationship, I had to start the hard work on myself and I had to stand in my own power. You can do anything. You can do anything at all that you put your mind to. If you think it, imagine it, and ask for it in your life, things will definitely change. So that is definitely one thing that I've taken from this whole experience through my business journey is that whatever I think in my mind for that day, I will attract it. That's pretty evident with all that crap I was dealing with originally. So now I'm sending out a lot of love to everybody. So if somebody calls me and they're upset, I send them love through my mind, and that does come back. So all the clients that I'm dealing with now, I am dealing with. Well, I feel like I've built an attraction business. They actually want to work with me. They don't dispute anything that I say. So I don't know if that's good or not, but but they want to work with me. So I just feel that now, even though I've done some really big numbers and I'm busy, I'm not putting out fires all the time. And the whole process of buying and selling for all parties is very smooth and everyone's very happy. Everybody loves me at the end of the day. And that's because I'm putting that love out there now. So thank you all for being here today to hear my story. To all of you, to the freedom to be you, love for one and all, and anything is possible. Never limit yourself. Cheers, guys.